couple of nights ago. I'm like, oh, I'll put $60 back in and pulled out another 2K. I'm like, fuck me.
Just buy some crypto, bro.
Yeah. So
crypto?
Yeah, it's all in crypto. It's all in Ripple in XRP actually. So I'm using my crypto in the casinos because none of this can be on my banks. Online casinos are illegal in Australia. So yeah. Don't tell them shit. I got a new PC on the way. Get my car fixed. Got my mum's car serviced. Took my nan out to breakfast. Fucking
nice.
Oh, it's cool, bro. It's cool. But yeah. I was stoked. Almost had a fucking heart attack though. I was like, "Is shit real or not?" Fucking yeah, it's all real.
So in the movements I run in, this guy Larken Rose is very well respected. I don't have any serious problem with him outside of him just being a dick and being very anti-vegan, stupidly anti-vegan. But I found this video, and it came after last week's my anarchism versus government debate we did last week. I saw this video. I felt like going through it and actually defending Larken Rose for the first time, because this clown show has everything wrong, and it's kind of interesting. He thinks it's a prime example of someone on the Dunning-Kruger effect. They're so confident, even so much that they edit their videos to back up how confident they are in their position while having an entirely fallacious and wrong position. Super fucking funny. This guy's name's Harmful Content. He's got 3,500 followers somehow. Very little snarky, little antagonistic little guy, which I get it. I do the same thing sometimes, but I'm usually not as wrong as this guy is here. Pro-government guy. So this is another, it's similar to, I wish I would have debated this guy instead of Mike Stanton, because Mike Stanton ended up Mike Canton? Yeah, Canton. He ended up kind of being a little crazy and incoherent. I actually wanted to have the conversation. But this guy, maybe we'll get this guy up on the show.
Well, pussies like you, we're back here partying, putting headbands on, doing drugs, listening to the goddamn Beatle albums.
One of the defining features of modern leftist thought is its growing detachment from reality. We're told that gender is entirely fluid, and that allowing biological men into women's spaces carries no risk whatsoever. We're assured that mass illegal immigration of millions of people over a few short years, places no significant burden on social services. That higher education and universal health care can be made free without severe economic consequences, and that importing tens of thousands of refugees from cultures hostile to Western values will integrate seamlessly. Now, of course, the list of disassociated beliefs goes on and on and on. However, all of these claims share a common thread: a willful denial of human nature, economics, and history.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize this about anarchists.
To tradition,
but
anarchists to history there
are actually on the very far left side of the political spectrum. So, of course, anarchist, or anarchism, has become the most extreme expression of this same mindset. This mindset that just willfully ignores reality. It takes the leftist disregard for reality to its logical extreme. It believes that society can function entirely without government, without a system of enforceable laws, and without any centralized authority.
No.
Yet somehow remain peaceful, cooperative, and totally stable. This is not merely naive.
So far he's making the assumption that decentralized forms of government can't exist, or decentralized forms of security. You got to leave the mindset of going, okay, instead of having a government offer all these services to me while charging me the most amount of money and giving me the least quality of service, that somehow this centralized government is the best way of doing it. A centralized government that is held accountable by nobody but themselves. That's the fatal flaw that none of these guys get, is that this government can do whatever it wants and is not regulated by the people, by the people's dollar, because they've devalued the dollar by printing it by the trillions so much that we're not able to vote with our dollar anymore. Our dollar has no value. So we have lost one of the only ways of controlling any type of government or any type of adjudication, regulations. A lot of people think that without a federal government, without a centralized federal government, that it would be the Wild West again, which is just boggles my mind, because in my opinion, if I was at work and overnight the federal government disappeared and I got to go to work tomorrow and not have those taxes taken out of my bill, my paycheck anymore, I'd be fucking thrilled. I wouldn't go run in the streets and kill people. I'd be happy. I'd get up early and go to work early. And I think most people would do the same thing. So this idea that we need a centralized, monolithic government like we have now in order to not have chaos is ridiculous. The free market, who is more regulated by the people's dollar, would, you'd have police forces competing, offering the best product for the lowest amount of money, instead of having a monopoly where the government allows whatever police force to do whatever they want while taxing the shit out of the people and enforcing policies, victimless crimes, not enforcing natural laws in the least bit, but man's law. So this guy's already walked into a big trap, assuming that there's no other way of doing things besides centralized government.
This is just not naivety.
Naivety.
It is historically and psychologically indefensible. Human beings are not naturally altruistic or perfectly rational. Left without rules or enforcement, societies do not even...
No, but the greater good of the people always prevails. Or else we wouldn't be here anymore.
Evolve into utopias. They do not just progress.
No, it's utopian to think a centralized government is going to keep everyone happy.
Naturally, with the natural world. Societies without these structures collapse into power struggles, violence, and eventually authoritarianism. And that's actually what's a little ironic, is that anarchists, they love to talk as if they're rallying against authoritarianism. But their philosophy, anarchism in itself, will directly lead to the most authoritarian states known to history.
Okay, let's break that down. So anarchism, where the free market regulates and controls the industries, where several companies can compete, like I said earlier, and thus bringing the price down and the quality up, people being able to put out of business a company that is doing something wrong just by switching what product they own. Somehow this is more authoritarian than a bunch of psychopaths ending up in government, because only psychopaths want to govern that many people, want power over that many people. You have this, so these psychopaths know better and will do the right thing no matter what, simply because they're centralized and because they were voted upon, which has been co-opted. Voting, there's no way of proving voting works or is legitimate in the least bit. It's all a reality TV show, again, to distract us from the fact that we have no choice. But we do have a choice, and that's turning our back on government. That's agorism. That's denying material support to the evil system that is keeping the world enslaved, keeping the meat and dairy industry going, just because the guys that run the government, the powers that be, they own the slaughterhouses too.
Hey Jeff, did you know that America has like an entire fucking mountain full of cheese, bro?
Yeah, and they're just hiding it. We've watched the video on this show.
Yeah, I think I might have seen it on your. Yeah, I might have seen it.
Subsidizing it. Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
That's
so
madness,
like, I wonder if Natalie Fulton knows that stuff, about government. Like, I wish she would have stayed and especially watched the agorism video.
That was someone who was on earlier.
Yeah, we had a girl on earlier that still thinks that we're gonna vote animal government into animal rights, giving rights to animals, which I just think is ridiculous. These people that run the government own the slaughterhouses. They're not going to put themselves out of business.
Now, I wish she would have made an argument against something other than politics in America, because she's very US-centered.
Yeah.
And as if veganism was some sort of plant-based diet for the US. And, I think she's very naive in whatever, and very irresponsible to use the name of veganism for things that are not veganism. She's misinforming a lot of people.
It's so funny, David. You remind me of me. Like I get so much shit in the natural law movement because of my stance on veganism, and they're all just like, you're fucking nuts, dude. Like, and it's like, and I feel like in this circle, I'm almost like, it's impressive to see how hardline you are. Not since being in, in the 90s and seeing my buddies like beat up people for smoking cigarettes. I see like or eating meat and stuff. Like, it's pretty funny. But it's all connected. All this stuff's connected, and these people that make these videos laughing about their own slavery and just allowing it to happen, and they're so happy that they're a slave, and then it's like, no wonder our society is screwed up when they just want daddy government to save them from everything, and to eat the statist diet, drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, eat meat and dairy. That's what a man does, right? It's wild.
And they have already done this. This is not like something that's a hypothetical. We have historical backing for this. Anarchism is not just an idealistic mistake.
Because something happened in the past,
misunderstanding of human behavior
does not mean it is right or correct. We've been at war since the inception of this our government. Should we keep going just because of that? These appeals to tradition, these statists and these carnists always use these horrible arguments to justify what they're doing. And it's because they never made the choice. It was forced on us at birth. Carnism, statism, it's forced on us at birth. We didn't sign any contract. We didn't sign this contract. We didn't make the decision to start eating meat. It was forced on us. And so we don't have the greatest arguments backing up the things that are forced on us. We didn't think and make a decision. Hey, I'm going to decide to support the state. I'm going to decide to eat meat when I'm an infant. We don't have that opportunity. So we don't have the greatest arguments. And that's why all these carnists and statists sound
it's imposed on us from like a young age, eh?
Yeah.
It's that tradition.
What do you mean by... Oh, sorry. What do you mean by carnists? I think that's such a...
Oh, he means me. He means me. I eat meat.
But do you wear leather? Do you buy products that have been tested on animals for the shampoo?
Yeah, he does.
We don't import beef from America, so that's a good fucking start.
Get it from New Zealand.
Yeah, we do get it from New Zealand.
So that's not carnism. That is non-veganism. That is not carnism.
Hey Jeff, did you know that I don't know what veganism is?
I don't know.
Well, shit,
no.
he come out, roll the
David's
sleeves,
very,
got the
David's very
fisticuffs.
particular about the definitions of words, and I think I like that.
Yeah, but
and-
what's the point? What's the point? What type of rape is acceptable? Are you against slavery and rape, or is it only when animals are the victims? I don't understand the ethos.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why we're here. That's what we're talking about. That's why I'm trying to get everyone to talk.
But do we want movements like justice movements to disappear just because veganism is supposed to be some sort of panacea for every human versus
Shouldn't that
human
mean
issue?
like ethically we should kill all cats then? Because the male cat
no, I don't
serrated
think-
penis and the barbs and that they hook
Yes.
into a female, so the female can't actually
Jules,
escape.
that's very, very much a part of the conversation we're having.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out. Because that's why I could, yeah.
A guy I interviewed a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, he said that everyone should shoot all the lions in the head, and everyone kind of bent out of shape about it. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. So it's definitely where we're at that stage
Our
where we
ethics,
are
I guess.
questioning these things.
Yeah, it's okay to define veganism when you're teaching somebody what veganism is. All I'm saying is that you can't be vegan for ethical purposes, but also believe in government. Because it's the same thing. It's predatory dominion behavior.
But,
Yeah.
listen, why are you asking logical consistency only from vegans? Because I could say the same.
I'm not.
About,
I am not.
Anti-racists.
I am vegan, and I'm saying that it's.
Are you saying that you cannot
consistent.
be against racism if you're not vegan?
No, I'm saying if you are. I'm saying there might be some racist vegans, but they're hypocrites.
Yeah, and there are elitist feminists.
I think racism and
so what?
veganism are two different ideologies.
That doesn't
How do you compare them?
doesn't
Well, there's
that doesn't have
speciesism.
anything
No,
to
I'm
do-
saying if you are vegan for ethical purposes, then you should be ethical for ethical purposes all the time.
For sure.
Yeah,
That's
if
all.
you're feminist for ethical purposes, then you should be a role model for humanity.
Jules.
What is a feminist for ethical purposes?
Yes, but because they reject the oppression that women have to suffer because of their gender.
It's yeah, I mean if a human being who happens to be female is being oppressed, then it doesn't matter if she's being oppressed by a government of one man or a government of a million men. It's still wrong. What I'm saying is right is right and wrong is wrong. So
Yeah, but that is not the purpose. The purpose of feminism is not to fix the world.
David, you might have to change the word you're using and call it neo-feminism because feminism. I mean, if you're so particular about the definitions and what words are being used, then you should clarify it being neo-feminism.
it's not about
Yeah.
diet. It's about right versus wrong. Behavior is either wrong or it's not. So,
yeah, but same. You should be telling all the anti-racist people and all the LGBT community that fights for justice for them, and you should be telling all the feminists.
There is no justice
the
with a
same.
government that pays
But-
people
but you
$5,500 to abort at full terms. My state in Australia is the only state that does this. There's no justice.
why are you
You-
vegan? Why do you care
choose-
about animals? Is it because you have a conscience and you don't want to be hurt yourself, so you sympathetically suffer when you see animals getting killed? What makes it unethical? Is it violent or is it not? Do the animals deserve the violence or do they not? And if the animals do not deserve the
if you're-
violence, why do humans deserve the violence that government does to us on this animal farm known as Earth? This is the planet of the
Why
apes.
I
are
think
you
it
don't
ties
think
in with the
why-
religious
The
stuff too,
planet of the
Darren.
apes.
There's considered ethical
So-
killing in the Bible and sacrificial ritual.
And the
and
Bible
whatnot.
is
It's
fake and gay.
with the commandments and
It's
shit. tells you not to
absolutely
murder.
evil. The Bible is
But-
absolutely the most disgusting evil book on the planet.
Right.
Then if you believe in justice, you should be a role model for all causes. That's what you're saying. But you're choosing to demand that from
How do you
vegans.
know I'm not a role model for all causes?
No. You are asking from vegans that they should oppose government and they should oppose all those other oppressions.
Correct.
But you are
To be
asking
morally
vegans.
consistent.
You're not.
No, I'm
Yeah, but why are you not asking that from?
because vegans are the only
LGBT
people who
community?
seem to care about that.
No. Yeah, really? Seem
Yeah.
to care?
Yeah.
No. But why do you not ask from people demanding justice?
This is
From
vegan
that-
group therapy. If
me.
somebody sees me in the grocery store and asks me why I'm buying plant-based stuff, I'm going to tell them the same thing. What I'm saying is
No.
morally you can't be a government supporting vegan. You cannot.
Listen. What I'm saying is that you should demand the same logical consistency from everyone. And
I
if you
do.
go to a
That's what he
feminist,
said.
Yes,
That's
no,
what he
you are.
said.
no. If you go to a
He
feminist
said that
rally
first.
and say that they are not feminist unless they
If a
oppose
feminist believes in
government-
government, they're not moral. They're an immoral person.
They're not a feminist
and
either.
if they are
Yeah.
not vegan,
Correct.
are you saying that they are not feminist if they are not vegan?
No, feminists are not good people if they believe in government.
More
Are
taxes.
you denying the history of feminism? Because
What history?
in the 50s, yeah,
The
in
CIA
50s
history
where-
of feminism, or the natural
Well,
organic feminism?
we can say that the Rockefellers founded feminism. But
Right.
if you believe,
to
And
get-
the
to get
Rockefellers
women taxed.
used the government to
Yeah.
do that. It's
Yeah,
the
to get women
disease
taxed.
vector of all
So
the
then they
evil
could
in the world.
indoctrinate your children and make it
Yeah.
easier to control
Correct.
us in the
The
future and
poison-
destabilize the
the
nuclear
poison
families.
is government. The syringe is government, and they have different poisons. It's all evil. That's what I'm saying. The Bible is one of those poisons.
but it,
Government is one of those poisons. The whole point of
But
it is
listen,
to
you're-
kill you.
you are trying to use veganism as a panacea for every other injustice.
No,
And that is
I'm
not the case.
No.
Every justice
no.
movement
No,
has
he's just saying like
No,
you
if
can't
that's
be
the-
like,
if
sitting there
that's the
fucking government
understanding
keeps
you
saying
got,
love the
it's
government and
not what I'm
claim
trying to
be
do.
vegan at the same time. It's not like
Yes,
he's saying
you're
consistency,
saying
like
that
moral consistency in that. He's making perfect sense to me, and I'm new to all this shit.
Yeah. Jules is
no. But then
So why
Then
can't a human
you are
just
not-
cannibalize
Hold on,
other
one at a
humans?
time, guys. One at a time.
are you saying that you're not anti-government if you're not vegan?
Let me think about that. Not
If you're
anti-government.
if you're not an
they're
anarchist,
they're
and vegan, then
half-assed.
you're inconsistent.
They're
Yeah.
half-assed.
Government, you claim to be a vegan. That's what he's saying.
If they're anti-government, they should be vegan. So I think
They should
every
be
Alex
vegan.
Jones guy needs to learn that Alex Jones is
Yeah.
fake, and they need to become vegan. They need to
Plus,
go
Let's
all
to
control
those
that
guys used to be
carnivore diet.
conservative too. Those guys used to be conservative too, and it's fiscally conservative to not support subsidies.
That's such an that's such a confusion. You're
It
making
is-
basically every other movement become useless.
It
Because-
is.
Well,
It
do
is
I have
useless.
the right to be a predator or not?
But
Do the objects
I mean-
and beings in this world exist for me to predate upon them or not?
no, but that's a different issue.
Well,
from,
it's the only
example,
issue with morality. If it's not part of that, then it doesn't involve morality or ethics. That's the only issue.
Yeah,
Is
but
it right or
veganism-
not?
But veganism is not the panacea for every other injustice in the
Veganism is
world.
a
That's what
is a
you need to
particular
understand.
specialty of morality and ethics.
That no other movement says, well, you're not an LGBT defender if you're not vegan. because they know that the
That's
victims that they are trying to defend are the LGBT community. So it's a different issue.
That's not. So what is LGBT?
Are you not an LGBT activist, an activist for the LGBT community? If you're
It
not
depends on what LGBT people are engaging in, what kind of behaviors. I'm against LGBT government of all kind, including government
against
helping
LGBT.
normalize LGBT things, because government also normalizes eugenics.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about basic respect. I'm not talking about some
Like,
plan-
you don't have the right to do violence against LGBT people any more than you have the right to do violence against a goat.
All right. So if you say that and you're not vegan, you're not an activist for the LGBT community.
No, they're a hypocrite. They believe in their pet cause. They have their pet cause, like feminism or LGBT.
This is what happens
He's
when you start
complicating
making
it, bro.
groups.
I think it's
they are
all life, not
all
just the
kinds of
LGBT. It's all life as a whole.
When you start allowing groups and talking in group format, it just cascades into bullshit.
That's what
Everybody-
dialectic does. That's what government does.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are
Why
all kinds
even
of
categorize
That is
people
not-
as LGBTQ? Like, why even do it?
Because
They're
Marx.
humans. They should be treated just like anyone else. And
Is it
just
okay
like
to
any
kill
other
gay
sentient
frogs?
being. Gay frogs, yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Jones says so.
I mean, is it okay to kill? Yeah. I mean, sometimes you see animals do gay stuff. That doesn't mean that we get to exploit them, you know? Did you know in the Talmud that you actually get to kill an animal if a human has sex with it? That's the
Talmud
recommended
says you can
course of
fuck a
action.
3-year-old as well, bro, and it's justified. I don't think that's
That's what I'm saying. So, like, religion, government, they're the same thing. They're like justification engines, like Google, but for justifications.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
Darren,
without any of those texts,
anyone-
Darren, we wouldn't even have morals, bro. Like
What?
any of that.
Without what?
Without like the
okay,
fucking
let me
the law
let
of
me
Moses.
understand
all
what
that
is
shit,
happening
you know.
Moses is a psyop, dude.
You
It's
reckon?
so
So
disgusting.
is the Apostle Paul. The whole New Testament.
Dude, so is Simon Peter, bro. He has an entire Shabbos named after him.
All those, none of that shit
Okay,
matters, dude. None of the religious shit matters. You don't need any of that stuff to know right from wrong. Like
Right.
I didn't learn any morals from the Bible.
You want to learn morality? Study Pythagoras or study Shankaracharya. That's morality.
Shankaracharya.
Darren, so
Pythagoras is vegan.
anyone who's not a vegan is a hypocrite, right? In
You
your
mean
view.
anyone who supports government and that's vegan is a hypocrite? Yes. Anyone that supports government and continues to support is vegan
No,
and
but-
continues to support government is a hypocrite for sure. Because, dude, you're
So
trying to
that's
say
my
you
issue. My
did a
issue
false
is
a false equation equating the LGBT community to anarchism.
Everybody should be
You can't
vegan and
compare those two
everybody
things.
should be anarchist.
How do you not support government? Where are you living right now, Jeff?
Oh, no. I don't mean materially support. I mean ideologically support. Everybody who buys gasoline or buys anything that's taxed. I mean, if you move on the earth.
You can choose to pay more taxes.
No,
or less
but you
taxes,
don't
though.
believe it's right. Like, even if you don't eat meat,
you're
you
just
know that
reducing
meat
your
is.
support, but you support it. So
Well, dude, I mean, if you think about it, when you
you
purchase
could
something.
go live in Afghanistan. You could go.
No,
David,
what I'm talking
if you're
about
vegan-
is morality. No, that means
David.
like if you live on the earth, you kill animals indirectly, no matter what.
As a vegan, why would you support the system that subsidizes the meat and dairy industry? It makes no sense. It's as simple as that. Why would you support that system? That system
I'll be
is
back
run by-
later, guys.
Where can you go and not support that system? Where can you go and not support?
You
that
can
system?
decide to go along with it, or you can decide to go against it.
Yeah, but where can you go? Exactly. Where can you go and live without supporting?
It's not
that
about
system?
going someplace. It's about a state of mind, bro. It's about changing your life and a lifestyle. Like
Well, it's like it's like asking how can one be vegan in a world or society that's not vegan? It's like, well, you can make choices. Well, sure, you get in your car and you may run over a squirrel, you kill bugs. You can still make choices that are more moral and are choosing and are not, your diet. You can make choices about what you buy, what material. So it's the same thing with government. You can make choices in your life that don't prop up that system. While sure, there's things that we buy that you have to pay tax on, like gas, whatever.
Veganism is one of those things.
You can be a materialist and take a job where you have to pay a shit ton of taxes and have all this material wealth, but you are funding and fueling all this money versus making the decision to lead a less materialist life and have less belongings and not engage in a monetary exchange where you're giving your money away to the government and funding the war machine. So it's just to respond to your question about that.
But no, my question is why veganism should be the only cause where people are allowed to say, well, you're not vegan if you don't do this and this and this and this and this.
Because veganism is a anarchist movement. Veganism is a anarchist move. So you can't call it something that it's not. It's a move against the status quo. It's a move against the state. The state owns this system that we're all a part of, that feeds us this meat from the day we're born, forces it down our throats practically, pays for us to eat it.
The
So
stock exchange, the markets.
veganism is a anarchist move. So you can't call it something it's not.
Jeffrey, where do you get that idea from? Because as far as I know, the
Anarchism is about no slavery, no slaves. That's the
with the
definition
government
of
agenda,
anarchism. No slaves.
with the government agenda, Jeff, there's going to be like no cows and no chickens or no pigs by 2050 anyway. So people got to
we
get
won't
ready
be
for
able to
this
enjoy
shit.
all the cows.
Yeah,
the
there'll be none of that in like 30 years. They reckon that's what they're planning.
Dave, I got a question. In all these arguments, I've heard what's the argument where it's better off that the species goes extinct than serves a life as a slave, like in the system, like where they just keep what was it called?
Extinctionism.
Extinctionism. Yeah. What's up with that? And what do you think about that?
Another utilitarian idea. It's different from veganism. It's different from veganism. It's like, oh, well, if they don't exist, they don't suffer. It's another utilitarian calculation. But my problem is why mix issues? Because you're not a vegan if you don't do. Listen, I can agree with you. I hate governments. I don't vote. I don't go vote for another corrupt piece of shit.
Then you're not supporting it. Then why are you saying you support it if you don't even vote? That's literally supporting
because I pay
the government
taxes,
and deciding not to support the government.
And I could decide to go somewhere else.
But you don't have to pay taxes.
You shouldn't have to.
Taxes are
you were born
voluntary.
a free person, dude.
You're just not allowed to defraud the government. That's
where are you going to do? I've lived plenty of other places where I was like, oh, I'm going to go move to Central America and be free. And it's like, no, there's just another fucking government there. So you have to make anarchy around you. You have to make it in your community.
But you're supporting maybe the worst of them all. Huh? So you're supporting maybe the worst government of them all with your taxes.
USA?
Living there. Yeah, living there.
In Nicaragua or here? In the USA? Yeah, I agree. But I'm an agorist. So I take as much material support away from. We ride bicycles, bro. Like thousands of miles a year. We ride bicycles instead of using cars. Like we do. We live off grid. We do the least amount of harm possible. And we don't allow others to harm either. And that's really as much as you can do these days. Yeah, always be trying to do less harm and always allowing less harm.
But listen, Jeffrey, if you're going to promote a movement of people who only ride their bikes to go to work, as veganism, I have a problem with that because I
No,
use my bike.
that's just those
go
are just
everywhere.
our circumstances.
It's
It's
extending
extending
the
the
principles
principles
and the
into our
Listen,
lifestyle
you can
and doing less harm.
listen. You can see me. You can see me here at 3 a.m. In the morning. At 3 a.m. in the morning, on a bike, and
Yeah.
it's dangerous. Here is dangerous. You
Yeah.
can get stabbed.
You should see how many scars we have. She's got broken clavicle, I have broken ribs. It's dangerous. Driving cars is dangerous too, though. And it's dangerous
No,
to
but
animals in your environment.
No, here is dangerous because you can get stabbed because people like your bike. So they stab you and take your bike away at 3 a.m. in the morning in
Yeah.
Bogota. No,
Yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
see me at 3 a.m. in the morning. But I'm not going to say that people who don't do that are not vegan. And that's the problem that I have.
But
with the
bro,
conversation
you could
that
you
we
could
just
be
had.
wearing a machete and stopping that from happening by holding a machete on your having a machete. When I lived in Nicaragua,
if
I
I
didn't
go
get messed
around
with
with
at
that-
all because I had a machete with me the
But
whole
then is
time.
it justified to then take
I
another
go again-
person's life over that bike, or just give them a
No,
bike?
no,
and
it's
get
it's
another one?
That
rarely.
is not the
Most
point.
sane people will not walk into death over a bicycle. So
Well,
most
that is not the
people
point.
that someone has a machete, they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to skip this guy. I'm not going to try and mug the guy with the giant machete." The big gringo in Nicaragua, the big tattooed gringo with the giant machete, I didn't get fucked with at all.
Yeah.
I think
That's
So
not
you
the
can't
point.
expect government to
is-
take care of you.
Yeah.
You can't expect government to take care of you.
But I don't think we're not saying people
Yeah.
who don't ride bikes
But-
all the time are not vegan though. I think maybe that's a misunderstanding.
No, he was saying. Well, he
Yeah,
was
but
using a
if you're
metaphor.
saying if you support the government, then you're not vegan, and I have a problem with that because we need all
you don't
sorts of
support the
people
government.
to become vegan.
You don't support the
And that-
government, though.
But yeah, but
And
you're-
almost
you're
every
saying-
vegan I talk to, once I talk to them
Listen.
enough, they admit they don't support the government. So why are you
Yeah,
saying
but
you
if
support the government when you
someone
don't support the
is-
government?
if someone goes to vote, are they not vegan?
Are
All
you
of a sudden-
voluntarily paying taxes? Do you voluntarily pay all your taxes?
He said
No,
that
I wish
before.
they weren't
Would
around,
you?
but I'm
Would
talking
you?
about
Like,
other
do you?
people.
Would you happily pay your taxes if it was voluntary?
No.
Then you
Other
don't support your
people, I'm talking
government.
about
And no
other
matter how
people.
much you say we need a government, even though we don't support it, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but other people.
You've been brainwashed
you
since
can-
birth to think we need a government, even though we don't. That's why your logic is messed up here. And you see, I can tell you're conflicted here because it doesn't make any sense. Veganism
No,
is a anarchist move.
Jeffrey. No, where does it say so? Where do
The
you get
government
that
doesn't want us
idea
being
from?
vegan, bro. They don't want us healthy. They don't want us not supplying their system with money. They want us paying for their garbage food. So we end up in the hospital and give them all the money we made in our lifetime. We give it to them to live a couple more years because we ate like shit. We ate what they told us to eat our whole life. Like it's all
I know,
the same
but-
system, dude.
But I'm
Why
not
would you
going
support that?
I'm not going to promote a movement of people who are only anarchists.
Okay, so
I
what
wish.
are these
No,
anarchists
I
in your
wish.
opinion? Remember when I talked
No, no, no.
earlier about a
I wish.
society? Hold on, David. Remember when I talked earlier about a society of people regulating their own their corporations that offer them services with their dollars, right? Like having a strong currency, no government monopoly there. The
but
people
you're
are able to control the corporations and demand,
Yep.
and the free market, the competition makes the quality of the product go up as the price goes down. So why does that sound so bad to you? What is it talk about
Because
going
you're
to your work tomorrow, not having a federal income tax? What sounds so bad about that?
No, because you're pretending that people who don't come to that conclusion are not vegans, and
They aren't.
I have a
because
problem with that because
veganism is
the
an anarchist
vegan
movement.
where do you get that from, Jeffrey?
It's
Where
a
did-
complete
where did
counterculture,
Donald
complete
Watson-
move
No,
against
where
the
did Donald
status
Watson
quo.
or Leslie Cross
It's one of the
says-
biggest moves from the status quo anyone could make. Is stop eating
Where did
crap.
the founders of the movement said, well,
Who?
this is an
Pythagoras?
anarchist movement.
Pythagoras started the vegan movement. What do you mean? You're talking about these guys in the 40s? I don't give a shit about what some guy in the 40s said about veganism. And maybe that's where we'll have a disagreement. You seem very stuck on this definition that these vegan guys made a long time ago. And I'm not diluting it. I'm actually making it better.
They coined the term. Pythagoras possibly wrote
Pythagorean diet? You mean the diet of Eden? They stole and renamed
something.
It's not a
diet. Pythagoras quite probably rode horses. It's not a diet. Pythagoras probably rode horses.
Probably, okay. That sounds like
So
Jesus probably ate lamb over Passover, you know?
No, he's not. He was not a vegan. Veganism is not a diet.
Okay, well that's a whole different
He was a vegetarian, maybe. He was a vegetarian. Vegetarianism is the reason why veganism had to be created in the 40s, so that they could separate exploitation from non-exploitation. And riding horses is exploitation, so it's not a.
And supporting government supports exploitation.
What
with
those
humans
guys
and animals. 40s, so how do you not get that connection? That supporting a government that subsidizes the meat dairy industry
but I don't think that I should say to all people that they have to agree with me. Otherwise, if they don't agree about the social structure that I want, then they are not vegans.
It's not a social structure. It's not a social structure, though. It's the natural state of the world. Anarchism is the natural state of the world. It was how it was before government. It's not some ideology, or it's not some whatever you just said.
Yeah, but my problem is we call in people who don't agree with that non-vegans. They are suddenly non-vegans because they don't agree with that, and that's my problem with that. Because
they agree with supporting the industry that kills, that has continued a tradition of killing animals. Because you don't support this, you're vegan? Wait,
Jeffrey,
what?
It's not about industries. It's about the mindset.
It is.
It's about hypocrisy,
no, it's not
David.
About industries. Listen,
It's
here in
completely
Colombia, there are
hypocritical.
people who have animals, and they exploit those animals in their own farm. So what?
David, I think you agree with. I think you agree with Natalie more than you're willing to admit.
No,
I think so.
Why? Why?
Because you think government's the solution to veganism.
No, where are you
Yeah.
understanding? What? When did I say that?
Because you think you can support you can support government and be vegan at the same time.
No, it's.
It must mean that you have some faith that government is going to do something good. If you support government, that means you have some faith that it's going to do something good. But if it's only doing bad and never changes, why continue to support something that's literally propping up the most harm, the most animal killing is supported by the U.S. government? Why would you tell people to continue to support it, or say that vegans somehow support that in some way, in any way with their ethics whatsoever? If you're saying it's an ethical movement, there's no way you can support government and agree with its ethics. You'd have to agree with everything government does in order to agree with it. But you don't, because you don't even vote. So I don't even know what you're arguing. But it sounds like Natalie Fulton thinking that eventually we're going to use laws to change and force people to be vegan.
I'm arguing that people who do support whatever candidate to the presidency are vegan.
It's not going to happen. They'll get murdered, bro. Like, they're not going to let that happen. They will lose their job.
I know.
They'll lose that position. They have to play the game.
You're not.
You know that. You know it's a mess, but you still say that.
Listen, I don't want a movement of people who have my own political ideology. Otherwise, they are not vegan. No, they have to reject animal use and whatever ideas they
Political
have about politics.
ideologies are invented to control. You're falling into the trap.
I
that they
know,
set
I
for you.
know. Listen,
I am of the position of no political
the
views
right wing
and going back to nature.
as much as the left wing politics. I hate them all.
Yeah,
I hate,
it's bad.
I hate politicians. I hate
Yeah,
politicians.
it's bad.
But
That's
I
why.
but I don't want to mix issues with veganism. Like, oh, if they
Anarchism isn't
they
an
don't
issue,
hate-
though. It's not a virtue
don't
signal.
think-
It's not
they don't think the
a
same as
social
me,
justice issue.
then they are not vegan. We
Social
need
justice
as
is
many
a
people to
oxymoron.
reject animal use as possible. Then maybe later on they might figure out why supporting governments is not going to work for animals. But maybe later. But right now, what we need is people who reject animal use to be able to call themselves vegans. Now, the problem is that people reject cruelty and call themselves vegans, and that is not veganism. And
Okay.
but if we are going to have a check,
And are those words so different that we have to talk about it so much? Cruelty and exploitation. I mean, they're pretty close to each other.
No, they're very different.
Okay,
Like,
maybe explain that.
If you go to a dumpster,
Yeah.
or if you wait for your friends to finish their meals, see, and they are going to throw away whatever is left on their plates, and since it's going to go to the trash, and you eat it, that, you're not a vegan. It doesn't matter if that's exploitation, right?
Yeah.
Is
You're,
it
you're
cruelty?
talking. Yeah, it's called freegans, right? Freegans aren't real vegans. Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe you didn't pay for the cruelty. You didn't participate in the cruelty. Well, you participated.
Is eating roadkill exploitation?
Of course,
Obviously, yeah.
exactly. Is using feathers for whatever purpose exploitation, which is the big one.
Yeah.
Because most people who consider themselves vegans, they say, well, no, it's not.
I mean,
But if the feathers are there on the floor, what is the problem? And the
is
problem
it a
the
big one, though,
instrumentalization.
if it's just something that's kind of rhetorical? You just said
No,
it's a big
that-
issue.
no.
Like,
That's the beginning.
Like-
That's the beginning of animal exploitation. Whenever people say, well, that might be good.
yeah,
for,
you're saying it's like a slippery.
you know,
What's it
No,
called?
it's not a
slippery slope, but
it's not
but
a slippery slope.
a
We
where
already
it's like a short jump to the next. If you give
That-
if you
that's
give
how
an
it
inch,
began.
they take a mile type of thing, right?
That's how it all began.
Yeah.
So should we not reject how it all began? Because we are going to the root of the problem. The root of the
Yeah.
problem is that people see feathers or animal hairs or whatever comes from an animal as resources.
Yeah.
That's the root of the problem. If you don't reject that, you're not a vegan. But
Okay,
I'm
I
not
have
going
a
to
question.
tell you
I have a
that
question.
you have to agree with me in everything about
I have a
politics that I think
question.
about politics.
Okay,
to
I have a
call yourself
question.
a-
I got a
That's
question
my
for you. I got a question for you. Okay, so let's say, sometime, hopefully short from now, the whole world goes vegan, right? Animals and people are coexisting together. Obviously, we're stewards. We're supposed to be holding dominion or whatever. We're supposed to be stewarding these animals. We have a bunch of ducks that like decided they really like the pond we have in our yard, and we give them a little house so they're safe, and they dump some feathers over time. since that human is coexisting with that animal and offering it a service that the animal seems to like, would that still be exploitation?
Yeah.
Okay, so if the world goes vegan, how are we going to deal with living amongst all the animals? We just going to set them all of them, just throw them in the wild and walk away?
No, you can live beside animals, but not perceive them as resources. That is the whole problem.
It's not. I mean, if they're getting resources from us, isn't it fair?
Listen,
and if they don't mind, it's not like we're plucking them off the animal.
If your mother dies, do you think that maybe we should make some leather with her skin? Net utility kind of thing. If your mother dies,
yeah,
you don't believe in
my mother.
Let's say that you don't believe in spiritual, religious things.
Yeah, and you just think it's a vessel.
Should we make my mother into soap?
I think a better analogy would be like, would we utilize, like, if you cut your mother's hair as an old lady, she got older, and you sold the cut hair, that would be a more fitting analogy than selling her skin after she dies. Because I think your example was about the feathers that were dropped naturally, not using the bodies of the animals.
No, a better example is the one that I'm talking about, because we don't see
psychologically it would affect
we don't see humans.
Animals.
We don't see humans as walking wigs. If you see Jews as soap, maybe there's a problem.
So someone just said that if I don't give a shit about the founders of veganism, I'm not vegan. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, people
so
need
I have
to learn
to care about some humans that I've never met in my life in order to be vegan.
Yeah, people need
that sounds
to
like
learn
a load of bullshit to me.
The history. No, you need to learn the history of the movement.
I need to learn the history.
That is the whole problem. That is the whole problem, because if you say that Pythagoras was the creator of veganism, you're thinking about a diet. The creator of veganism was Donald Watson, who coined the term. And then they spent 7 years to come up with a definition that would allow animals to be free if we promote that kind of concept. But that's the problem. Nobody does. Because who cares what they said in 1944?
I don't need to know all this stuff in order to have enough moral. No, not at all. That's like saying you have to read the Bible to know morality. That's exactly the same thing. It's total New Age bullshit. I don't need to worship some guys that coined the term veganism. That's nonsense.
Why do you reject the consumption of animals who die in accidents, the roadkill kind of thing?
Why do I?
Yeah.
Because it's gross and unhealthy, and
why do you think it's
I
not
don't
vegan?
promote people to eat animals because it's not healthy and not cool.
But that is not the vegan stance.
And I'd even say if that human has better access to food, they might be taking some other animal's dinner from them.
No, the vegan stance is that those animals are not resources for humans. Regardless of health issues. Regardless of health issues. No, you said because maybe it's not healthy or something else. That is not the vegan stance. The vegan stance is that, whenever I see an animal, I don't see a resource there.
Yeah. I think
that's why my example about if your mother or your grandmother dies, we don't see the corpse as a resource.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. I think maybe the distinction here needs to be made of maybe like morality. There's veganism and then there's morality. You could ask a vegan, hey, do you think someone eating roadkill is a moral way to get calories? a vegan may say, okay, it might be moral, but it is not vegan, because I agree with you. A vegan, the psychology, once you embrace that, you understand, and you do not see that corpse on the ground as food. I think that's, like I said, the distinction where a vegan may not allow it, but may say it's not immoral, but it is surely not vegan. I agree with you on that.
So, David, there's a good question right there. How did the creator of veganism come up with the idea?
Well, they saw that vegetarianism was still the exploitative mindset of let's make these animals create stuff for us. So they
idea
said,
of not exploiting animals was not started in the 1900s, bro. It's just not gonna.
When did it?
This idea was not coined by some guy in the 1800s or 1900s. It's an idea that is far older. You don't think anyone in history, in thousands of years, there wasn't big groups of people just not exploiting animals?
No, there was this guy, Al-Mari. Al-Mari, the Arab poet, 1,000 years ago, was saying that he doesn't steal from nature, but it was like some sort of ascetic kind of life that he wanted to live, because he wanted to be a morally virtuous person. He didn't say, well, humanity should live without exploiting animals. That was said by Leslie Cross in 1951. Or we can go back to maybe 1945, where Donald Watson said, well, veganism is the against the exploitation of sentient life. And then they developed the idea into the definition of veganism in 1951. And that's very important, because
it's not important at all.
The term, no, it's important because lifting welfarist logic thinks that if you eat dumpster corpses, you are vegan, because you are not causing suffering or rights violations. And that is not vegan at all. That's a whole different concept. So people who have a big platform are spreading bullshit. And that's why this cosmic septic guy says, well, I'm causing maybe less suffering than the vegan gym bro, because the vegan gym bro eats a lot more calories than me, and there are crop deaths involved.
Yeah, crop death, bro. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I actually agree with your
That's
stance.
the problem, because Leslie Cross never said, well, veganism is a movement to reduce suffering. He never said that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to know what veganism is by the founders and the people who coined the term and defined the term.
Yeah.
If Pythagoras rode horses, he is not a vegan. He was not a vegan.
Yeah, man, I agree.
So,
I totally agree with you.
All right. So veganism was founded in the middle of the 20th century, not some millennia ago.
So it was coined, for sure.
Coined? Maybe a term was coined, but the
Yeah,
idea...
didn't you say Pythagoras created veganism? That's like...
No, he was like the first,
that's a long time, bro.
Vegetarianism is not veganism.
Non-flesh eaters.
Pythagoras was plant-based.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not vegan, because he rode horses and shit.
I'm just pressing you, man.
Maybe he wore wool. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe he wore wool. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
So that's not
most
veganism.
likely. Yeah.
That's not veganism.
And even so you're saying that the claims of Christspiracy that Jesus was vegan, totally not true, because he most likely for sure wear wool and leather and probably drank milk and maybe who knows.
Yeah, and
that makes
who
sense.
Cares?
Yeah, they were simply not. They were
flesh.
They were not flesh eaters. They were vegetarians. They weren't vegans.
And also, who cares?
That makes sense.
That is not a principle. If you say, well, I don't eat animals because Buddha didn't eat animals. Who cares? That is not a principle.
Yeah.
The principle is the internal realization that you have no right to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
that the conspiracy shit, to me, it's a bunch of bullshit. Who cares what Jesus did? I don't even believe in fucking Jesus.
I do.
To
I'm
me,
Christian,
that's
but that's okay.
to me that's a fucking myth. But
Sorry,
I'm not here to talk about the myth of
It's okay. You showed up for
some
me
guy, some guy in in what they call the Middle East, what the British call the Middle East because it's the middle between what they where they start with England and India. the, so they call the Middle East, but it's not the Middle East. But well,
Do Hindus
Anyway.
and Buddhists, do they eat meat or are they full vegetarian as well? They're
you're
like,
gonna trigger a bunch of people.
do they eat meat or not?
They're vegetarian.
Okay, so they're vegetarian. This is cool then,
Many
because
are.
like I heard the other week Darren was talking about Vimanas and things like that, which is like flying buildings, bro. And there's still some standing today that you can actually look up and go have a look at, bro. If they're not eating meat or any of that, and they can manage to make concrete fucking float, I think it's worth taking into consideration some of their practices, for sure. But that's in the Mahabharata. That's a sacred Hindu text and things like that. But yeah, don't knock Jesus, man. If you have a scary encounter with a demon, just say his name, bro, and watch it flee. But
listen, vegetarianism is the opposite of veganism. It's the opposite.
oh, well, you just don't eat fucking meat, do you? So you like have some similarities. But
No, vegetarianism is the
Ethically
practice.
very different.
Yeah,
vegetarianism's like
that,
veganism's what, like the Jainite sort of version of it, where they don't like the labor of any animal.
Yeah,
Listen,
well, vegetarians
some-
don't give a shit about the animals dying in the dairy industry and stuff like that.
Right.
So they're obviously very different than vegans that are fully against exploitation and the testing on animals, the leather, wool, down. Vegetarianism don't do all that.
Listen, they might even give a shit and have some cows in a family farm, and have some chickens and exploit them for eggs and milk. And so that is not the point. The point is not whether they kill them. The point is whether they see them as vending machines for whatever they want. That is the point of veganism in 1944. That was what they were trying to create. Veganism came about to end like thousands
And
of
it's not
years.
sustainable. Like the farming industry is not sustainable. With chickens, particularly, for every kilo of feed they eat, they drink 2 liters of water. So like the facility that I worked at, it's fucking hundreds of thousands of liters of water as well. It's not really a sustainable practice in the long run, because water's becoming a finite resource. Our tables are getting lower and lower, and they're not like filling back up.
Yeah, but you can have chickens for eggs and not.
Yeah, but
kill
that's
them.
unethical then too, because then that's in what like
Exactly.
we're talking about. That's the labor of the animal. Yeah, and
Exactly.
the eggs, bro. The chickens are laying the eggs so they can continue to reproduce them. They have a purpose. They till the soil. They fucking produce nitrogen in their shit, which fertilizes soil. They have a purpose. Just like slugs and snails, they break down iron in the soil with their slime. So if you got heaps of slugs and snails in your garden, it just means you got too much iron in your soil. It's an indicator. They're not just there to eat your veggies.
But maybe human shit has some purpose, but we don't need more humans, or do you? Or
No.
do you believe that we need more humans to crap all day long?
Nope.
So-
We'll get back to this video for a little bit.
And history. And I would even say that it's a misunderstanding. It's a willfully ignorant mindset to these facts. As we're going to see in this video by Larken
So
Rose.
I already debunked everything he said. So he's going to base his whole video off of things things he already said, which were completely fallacious arguments.
Anarchists are basically toddlers playing make-believe,
Toddlers.
except they're old enough to vote and loud enough to think they matter. Anarchism is a fantasy for people who have never worked a real job, never had to pay a payroll, and never had to deal with what human beings are actually like.
These are some
Anarchists, in my opinion, the ones that I have
shouldn't this guy not
that I've had to interact
be
with,
using so many fallacies if he's such a smart guy and he's going to make a point? Like, so far, it's just been a fallacy fest. Nothing, no real statements yet. Bunch of ad hominem. Hasn't really said any information backing up these ideas.
They're sheltered babies. They probably grew up in the suburbs somewhere. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Describing
We're going to see that right now.
Right
like
now,
I said,
T.
in this video titled Life Under Anarchy by Larken Rose. This very suspicious character who, the entire 3 minutes before this, he talks into a triangle on his hand. And yes, I have to point this out because I don't trust any of these YouTubers. I believe a lot of them part of the club. Especially somebody like this, who you can't find any of his family record before he was a YouTuber, even though he uses his real name.
Matters so much.
This is his real name.
Anyone who
records
makes
with his
it,
name. But you can't find out anything about this guy before 1999 or 1998.
Right? Got it.
But he loves to talk into his triangle hand.
Triangle
he loves
hand.
to pull off the Elon Musk hand thing, except instead of holding it down in front of you, he has to do it like this. So he actually has a double triangle. He has a triangle this way.
Double triangle.
He has a triangle in his hand.
Worse.
And of course, you can put more triangles.
Super satanic.
Is this intentional? Maybe it's not. But I don't trust people who talk like this. But anyway, let's look at some of the things that Larken Rose says in this video.
Throw the baby
and then we're
out
going to
with
look at his
bathwater
reply to my comment to see just how childish of a mentality this man baby really has.
He's describing himself.
Let's start here. I believe this is when he's
projection.
talking about, basically, before this part of the video, you guys can go watch this whole video yourself, it's only 8 minutes long, but before this part of the video, he just sets up a thought experiment. He's like, just imagine tomorrow we wake up and all of the governments of the world have ended. Nobody believes in political authority anymore, and there's anarchy around the entire world. That's his thought experiment, right? Let's see where he takes this thought experiment to show how immature this mind is.
Uncertain, but he tells you that he still...
Let's bring it back. Okay, so essentially what happens here, up to this point, he begins the thought experiment. He says that a guy wakes up, he looks out the window, the sun has still risen, and then he says that, like, this guy goes outside, he sees his neighbor, everything is fine. Him and his neighbor decide to walk over to the 7-Eleven, and by the way, it's really funny because he's like, oh yeah, they step out onto their lawn. So to me, this says, like, okay, this guy grew up in a place that had lawns, in a place that's more of a suburb and not an urban environment, so that gives us a little insight into his mind. Like, everybody in his world has a lawn. So, okay, they wake up, they go into the lawn, they have only one neighbor. Oh, good thing there aren't apartment buildings around you filled with fucking gangs like many urban environments have. So you get to just walk outside. Oh, you only have one neighbor, and your neighbor is on good standing with you? So in his world, everybody's neighbors like them. So to begin with, he lives in a world where there is no turmoil.
So because gangs, Larken is wrong, right? Isn't that what we're talking about? What's the word? Not utilitarian, but selection.
More realist?
No.
Activist?
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
He lives in a world where there is no friction. He lives in a world where everybody just gets along with their neighbors, and they all have lawns. Okay. Then they go down to the 7-Eleven, and this is what he says about the 7-Eleven worker.
You see that it's open. The usual guy behind the counter looks a little uncertain, but he tells you
that kind of a
like
intersectional argument right there he just made? Like, oh, because gangs happen, Larken Rose's anarchy can't work.
money, so he decided to keep selling stuff to willing customers.
Okay, so this is a little bit believable. A guy working at 7-Eleven not realizing that the value of money will completely collapse, or at least the fiat currency that he's working at the 7-Eleven for, putting his life on the line. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's anarchy. Let me go down to my 7-Eleven job. You know, those places aren't known for being held up at gunpoint. Let me go to this job for my minimum wage. I'll just get a little bit of USD that in a month will be valueless. So in Larken's anarchist society, the fiat currency that people go to...
There's another big assumption that that a currency wouldn't immediately pop up. A use of the old currency might be used for a while, there can be anything can be used as currency. That would take overnight for the free market to come up with how we're going to pay people. We just go back on precious metals pretty easily. There's plenty of precious metals in this country. He's making a bunch of assumptions, and these are loaded statements he's making. And the questions he's asking himself are all loaded with dumb fallacies. So I'm not really sure how
the work for somehow magically maintains its value. Oh yeah, I like money, and that's funny. It's like idiocracy in this guy's mind. Oh, I like money. Oh, I like money too.
What's idiocracy is thinking only a centralized government can make a currency, and can make money, and can make something have value, tangible value. Anything can be of value.
Jeffrey, I'm getting hungry, man.
What's that?
He's getting hungry.
I'm getting
hungry.
Yeah.
So, cool, man. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Come by anytime.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for talking.
Cool. Thank
you, dude.
See ya.
Later.
Oh, it's okay. That's a fiat currency that's going to be fucking valueless in a couple of weeks. But money, fucking retard. Sorry. I'm getting upset there. Let me try to keep it calm and collected.
If the community, say for instance, the U.S. government disappears, right? We have a pretty good number. We have a pretty good idea of how much fiat is in the market, right? And if the entire community still gives that fiat value while there's a transition going on from one currency to another, that fiat has value because the whole community says it does. It doesn't mean that what he's saying is, oh, no matter what, this fiat currency is going to be worth nothing, but it's already worth nothing. It's only worth money because we believe it is. And we can believe that currency is worth money, whether or not there's a federal government there or not. The money doesn't even come from the government. It comes from the Federal Reserve, which is a private fucking corporation. So this guy's garbage argument here.
And you show up. He also informs you he won't be collecting sales tax anymore. But while you and your neighbors stroll the aisles deciding what to buy, a very sketchy-looking character bursts through the front door, wielding a knife and demanding that the teller hand over the cash.
Okay, so in Larken's, his anarchist utopia, there's only going to be one criminal. You got only one bad guy coming in, and he comes in with what? A knife? Oh yeah, there's anarchy outside. Let me go hold up the 7-Eleven with a knife.
People do it all the time. People have done it in all of history.